Okay, so first thing first, hello everybody. My name is Darren Alff, and I am the Bicycle Touring Pro. For those of you who maybe don't know who I am, I have been riding my bicycle around the world since 2001, and since 2007, I've been running the website at bicycletouringpro.com, where I help people like you plan, prepare for, and execute their own bicycle tours all around the world. And I do that partially through the articles I write on the website, through the videos I create on my YouTube channel, through my podcast, and through my books. I've written 4 books: Winter Cycling, The Essential Guide to Touring Bicycles, Stretching for Cyclists, and the big boy, the main book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint. This is the book that people get if they want to learn how to conduct a bike tour anywhere in the world. So yeah, that's who I am. That's what I do. And today I wanted to kind of do this live because I'm making a special announcement about my 2018 bike tour travel plans and how you can join me on one of my upcoming bicycle tours. As Bicycle Touring Pro has grown over the years, more and more people have seen me bike touring in different places around the world, and they've seen me bike touring with other people. I've gone on bike tours with dozens and dozens of different people from different countries all around the world. And a lot of my readers ask me, you know, when can I go on a bike tour with you? Or I'd love to go on a bike tour with you, or something like that. So today I'm going to tell you exactly how you can join me on one of my upcoming bicycle tours. And I'll talk about that here in just a moment. Before I begin, today is what, December 5th, and that means it's nearly holiday time, Christmas time, and all that kind of stuff in many places around the world. So I, in the past, have done this like book deal for my Bicycle Touring Blueprint, and I'm doing it again now, this time. And yeah, the deal is basically if you want to get the Bicycle Touring Blueprint for yourself or for a loved one, you can get it now for $5 off by going to biketourbook.com, ordering the book, and use the coupon code December. That's the name of the month. Just type in December. You'll get $5 off, and I will send you a signed copy of my Bicycle Touring Blueprint along with a handwritten note to you inside the book. So just really quick before we begin, if you want to get a copy of my book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint, which will teach you how to conduct your own bike tours anywhere in the world, just go to biketourbook.com, or you can get it on my website at bicycletouringpro.com. Enter the coupon code December. You'll get $5 off the book, whether you order the ebook or the paperback. But if you order the paperback book, I will sign the book for you, write a note to you inside the book, and mail it to you myself, no matter where you are in the world. I've got a whole stack of books right here already waiting to go out the door. Some of them are going to Brazil and India and Australia. So yeah, if you want a copy, today's the day. $5 off, biketourbook.com, coupon code December. Okay, that's my little spiel. Before I begin discussing my 2018 bike tour travel plans, I want to talk a little bit about why this time of year, like December, is the perfect time to start planning your 2018 bike tour. Because a lot of people, most people in fact, do their bicycle touring in the spring, the summer, or the fall. Wintertime, a lot of people, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, are not out bicycle touring. Now, some people do wintertime bike tours, and I've done a few myself. But most people, spring, summer, and fall is when most people go bike touring. However, there are a lot of things that you have to like prepare in order to do, especially if you're going to do a long bike tour. You got to get the right bike and the bags and the gear and figure out what clothing you're going to wear and map out your route and find travel partners and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of people who are doing big bicycle tours where they're traveling maybe across the whole country or a whole state or something like that, they spend oftentimes, you know, they start planning their trip 3 to 6 months in advance. So if you're one of those people who wants to go bicycle touring this spring, summer, it might be a good time right now to start thinking about where you want to go and what you want to do and who you want to travel with and all those sorts of things. I every year, every spring, I get people who are like, I want to go bike touring in a week, but I don't have any gear. And it's like, oh, you can't, I don't know, like it's going to be very hard. You got to find a bike and find the gear and get everything together. It's possible to pull everything together in a week or two, but it's stressful, you know? So I would suggest starting now, at least thinking about where you're going to go, what you want to do, who you want to travel with, etc. The other thing that I wanted to say, because the new year is coming, is the fact that, well, before I move on to that, actually, the other thing I wanted to say about this time of year being the perfect time to start planning a bike tour is that a lot of the touring bicycles, not just touring bikes, but bikes in general and bike stuff is all on sale right now because bike shops are trying to get rid of all of their gear. Hold on, I gotta plug in my battery here because my computer is very quickly losing power. Like I said, I have no electricity in the house here, so I'm gonna have to kind of talk quickly today, I think. I'm using a voltaic, one of my solar batteries to charge my laptop here. Hopefully this will work. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so now my laptop is being charged from the solar battery. Okay, what I was trying to say is that this time of year, there's a lot of bicycles and bike stuff on sale. So if you want to save some money, don't wait until spring or summer to get all your gear because that's when everybody is trying to get their gear and the prices are at their maximum. If you want to save money and save yourself some stress where you aren't like waiting until the very last minute, start doing your bike tour shopping today because you can get some awesome deals on bikes, panniers, camping equipment, all that kind of stuff right now. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to say about this time of year and the fact that the new year is coming up and a lot of people are like starting to think about what they want to do or set personal goals for themselves or whatever is the fact that when I look back at the years past, because I've been bike touring now around the world for 17 years, and 2018 is going to be my 18th year of bike touring all around the world, which is crazy to think about. But when I look back at years past, like if I think about what did I do in 2005, it's really hard for me to like remember a lot of the things. Like I don't remember what food I ate or what movies I watched or a lot of things, you know what I mean? But what I do instantly remember are the bike tours that I did that year. In 2005, I did a bike tour from British Columbia, Canada, down through Washington and Oregon State. And that's what I remember, like from the whole year, looking back. And I could do that for every single year. 2009, what did I do in 2009? I rode my bike from Switzerland to Greece. What else did I do that year? I got no freaking clue. And that's what's kind of cool. That's what I like about bicycle touring, is that you're creating memories that you actually remember. And I kind of think that's what it's really all about, you know. So yeah, just something to think about, I guess, as you start to plan your own bicycle tours here in the future, is like, what do you want to remember about 2018? Because you're going to do a lot of things this year that you frankly do not remember. But a bike tour, I promise you, is one of those things that in 10 years from now or 20 years from now, you're going to look back on that experience and be like, wow, that was incredible, blah, 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 telling people about it, etc. So yeah, just something to keep in mind as the new year comes around. Oh, excuse me, get some water. So you guys are leaving comments here on YouTube. I just wanted to say I'm not going to look at the comments right now, so because I can't really read the comments and talk and think at the same time. I'm just not that smart, so I can barely talk sometimes. But anyways, I will look at the comments afterwards. So as soon as I finish my spiel about my upcoming plans, then I'll start looking at the comments. Anyways, so this summer coming up, 2018 summertime, I am going to be doing 2 bike tours in Europe that you can join me on. Now, why am I offering for you to join me on the trip? Well, first of all, bike touring has made an incredibly positive experience in my life. And I know that if other people just try bicycle touring, that they're going to have a positive experience as well. So that's been my goal with Bicycle Touring Pro all along, is not just to like promote my own bike trips. I'm kind of over that, to be honest. But the thing that really drives me is getting people like you out on their first bike tour. And what I really enjoy is when people send me pictures or videos from their bike tour, especially if it's like them and their bike out on the road somewhere. That is really, really cool to get, along with a little story or something about how the trip went. That's kind of like what I live for right now. So maybe you could make me a promise right now, actually, while I have you here. If you go on a bike tour this year, 2018, if you go on a bike tour, and if Bicycle Touring Pro has helped you in some way, make sure you take a picture of you and your bicycle and send it to me after the bike tour is over, or while you're out there on the road, something like that. And just let me know how it went. Because oftentimes what happens is, a lot of times people get the information from my website or my book or whatever, and they go off and do the trip, and I never hear from them. And oftentimes I'll hear from people like 3 years later and be like, hey, Darren, I did that trip 3 years ago. It was awesome. I never told you about it, but thanks. So this year, can you make me a promise? Just like leave a comment and say, yes, I promise, or something like that. That if you go on a bike tour this year, take a picture of you and your bicycle and send it to me, along with, you know, a short note about how the trip went, because I would really love to hear about that. The other reason I guess I wanted to have people join me on my bike tour this year is because people, now that Bicycle Touring Pro has grown to the size that it has, they're always asking if they can join me on a bike tour. And while it's not always possible for that to happen, simply because people are in different places and people are working or going to school or busy with other commitments or whatever, I wanted to announce these my travel plans for 2018 now, so that you would have the time to decide whether you wanted to do this trip with me, and so that you would have the time to potentially like take time off of work or take time off of school or whatever to do this trip. So I think finally the other thing that the other reason like I want to do a bike tour with you and other Bicycle Touring Pro readers is because I think it's fun to go on a bike trip with other people who have never been on a bike trip before, or who have never been on a long bike tour before. Some people have done like an overnight, but have never done a week-long trip. And those of you who were following me this summer as I cycled across Sweden, Finland, and Norway know that I did a week-long bike trip with my friends Rob, Doug, and Lene. Now, Rob is actually a longtime friend of mine. We've known each other since 2012, and we've done like 5 bike trips together. But Doug and Lene, who also joined us on the trip in Sweden, they had never really been on a bike tour before. So it was really fun for Rob and I to ride with Doug and Lene and to kind of see how they took to life on the road. And I really enjoy that. And I'm hoping to kind of experience that same sort of thing this summer on my upcoming bike tours in Europe. And lastly, final thing I want to say before I tell you about my trips is that, you know, one of the biggest problems that people have when they're planning a bike tour is the fact that like it's very difficult to find somebody to go bicycle touring with. Oftentimes, like, you might know that you want to go bicycle touring, but when you ask your friends and your family if they want to go with you, it's very hard to get a commitment. So if you're one of those people who like knows that you want to go bike touring, but also knows that you don't want to go alone, then joining me on one of my bike tours this summer is going to be your opportunity to not only have some company, because I'll be there, but there will also be several other Bicycle Touring Pro readers on the bike tour with you. So it'll be a cool small group of people, hopefully from all around the world, which will make it a very unique and interesting experience. So here it is, my 2018 bike tour travel plans. I'm trying to pull up the page here on my website, but I've posted on Bicycle Touring Pro. It's up there right now if you want to go and check it out while you're watching the live broadcast. But if you go to bicycletouringpro.com and in the menu, click on the button that says Bike Tours. And so it's bicycletouringpro.com/bike-tours. I'm going to try to paste it into the comment section right now. So go to this page and you will find the details on the 2 bike tours that I am going to be doing this summer in Europe. So the first bike tour I'm doing is in May, and it's a bike tour in northern Portugal and Spain. Now, longtime Bicycle Touring Pro readers will know that 2 years ago, I conducted several bike tours in Portugal, and it's probably one of my favorite countries in the whole world for bicycle touring. It's really built in such a way that, yeah, it's perfect for bicycle touring. So the tour that I'm doing this year, it's a guided group tour with a company called Fold and Visit. It's a local Portuguese tour company. I am not leading the bike tour myself. This is a bike tour that's organized by a touring company, and I am simply joining the tour as one of the tour participants. I'm also going to be there like taking pictures and doing my regular like video thing for Bicycle Touring Pro. But I'm basically just someone on the tour, and I'm inviting you to come on the trip with me. So if you go to bicycletouringpro.com, click on the Bike Tours tab up at the top of the page, you'll find the information on that Portugal and Spain bike tour. It's called the Way of St. James Bike Tour, and basically it's going to take us from Porto, Portugal, which is in northern Portugal, up the coastline, which is really scenic, into Spain, kind of crossing over the border of Spain, and we're going to go to the Santiago de Compostela, which is this pilgrimage site. Originally, it was like a religious pilgrimage site that people would walk and ride their bike to and hike to and that sort of a thing. Most people come from Spain to do that pilgrimage route to Santiago. However, this route, the Way of St. James from Porto to Santiago, is kind of a new route, and it's becoming very popular in large part because it's flat and it's along the coastline. So it's very scenic pretty much the entire way from Porto to Santiago in northwestern Spain. So yeah, that's kind of it. Like I said, it is a religious pilgrimage route that's very popular. Like you'll hear people talking about hiking the Camino or something like that in this part of the world, and that's kind of what they're talking about. They're making this pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela. So yeah, what should I say about the trip? It's a guided tour. We'll be staying in hotels every single night, so we'll be taking showers, eating good meals, you know, along the way. It's a flat bike tour, relatively flat. The first 3 days are totally flat, like almost no hills at all, or like there are no hills at all. It's just like little bumps. And then the last 3 days is a little bit more moderate, not difficult, but there are some hills that we're gonna have to climb. And there is a little bit of like dirt and cobblestone roads. But for the most part, it's a relatively easy to moderate bicycle tour that pretty much anyone can do as long as you're in like relatively good shape. So the dates for that tour are May 15th to May 20th, 2012. And the group is limited to 10 people. So I'm on the trip already, and I think there's 4 other people on the trip. So if you're interested, the space is very limited. I think that means there's 5 spots left. So if you want to join the trip, check out the website on bicycletouringpro.com/bike tours, and all the details are there. It's a 7-day bike tour. And I've also requested from the company, I got a little deal for Bicycle Touring Pro readers. So if you want to join the trip and you want and you sign up before the end of the year, December 31st, you'll save 5% off the total cost of the trip. The cost of the trip includes accommodations, breakfast every morning, airport transfer from Porto, from the airport in Porto to the start of the tour. It includes your bike rental, so you don't have to fly with your bike. You basically just fly yourself to Porto, Portugal, land, we'll pick you up, the company will pick you up, and they'll give you a bike, they give you the route description, they carry your luggage every day, so you don't have to carry everything with you. There's a support vehicle, and a professional Portuguese guide is on the trip as well. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. The only thing that's like not included is lunches and dinners, food. And every bike tour that I've done in the past is different, but this company, they don't cover lunches and dinners. But I kind of think that's a good way to do it, because they do organize the meals. They take us to like a local restaurant that they recommend every single day. And then you can order whatever you want. So if you want to be super cheap, you can be super cheap. And if you want to go crazy and eat everything on the menu, you can do that. But yeah, and Portugal, by the way, and Spain are both pretty cheap places to eat out. So like you probably won't spend a whole lot of money extra on the food. But anyways, the whole itinerary for this bike tour, it's called the Way of St. James Bike Tour. It's in Portugal and Spain, and it's with a company called Fold and Visit. The itinerary, the day-by-day mileage, pricing details, all of that is up now on the Bicycle Touring Pro website. Just go to bicycletouringpro.com and click on the Bike Tours tab up at the top of the page. You'll see 2 bike tours there. One is for the Portugal and Spain bike tour, and the other one is for a bike tour in Switzerland. And that's the trip that I'm going to talk about now. So the second bike tour that I'm doing this summer is a bike tour in Switzerland. It's called the Bike Switzerland Light Tour. And it is another easy bike tour that basically anybody can do. It's actually the easiest bike tour that Bike Switzerland offers. It's a cross-country bicycle tour that takes you from Geneva, Switzerland in the west, all the way kind of across the northern part of Switzerland near the border of Germany. And yeah, it's a 12-day sort of 10-night bike tour from July 9th to July 19th, 2018. So it's a Bike Switzerland Light Tour, which is totally flat. So if you don't want to climb the mountains that Switzerland is most famous for, this is an awesome bike tour to go on. We'll be cycling along the edge of rivers and lakes and passing through small Swiss towns. I think it's going to be really great. I did another bike tour with Bike Switzerland in 2012. I did their Bike Switzerland Challenge Tour, which is a much harder mountainous bike tour. And that bike tour was awesome. Like, it's honestly like one of the best bike tours I've ever done. So that's why I decided to go back this year and do a different bike tour with Bike Switzerland. But I wanted to do one that pretty much anybody could join me on. And most of the people who do this bike tour in Switzerland are between 50 and 70 years old. So you don't have to be young and, you know, I'm 30-something years old, so people see me and they think, oh, I got to be the same age. That's not the case. Most of the people who do both of these bike tours that I'm mentioning today, the Portugal one and the Switzerland one, are somewhere between the ages of 50 and 70. So as long as you're in relatively good shape, you can ride a bicycle for at least 4 hours a day or something like that. You can do both of these bike tours. But yeah, the Bike Switzerland bike tour, the Bike Switzerland Light Tour, it's July 9th to July 19th. It's limited. There's only 12 guests allowed on this tour, and there's already 4 people on the trip, so there's only 8 spots left. And just like the other bike tour, if you sign up for this tour, the Bike Switzerland Light Tour, before December 20th, which is only a few days away, you will not only get 5% off the price of the bike tour, but you will also get the bike tour at the 2017 price. So every year, Bike Switzerland has to raise their price a little bit because things go up, inflation. And they're going to raise the price for 2018. But if you order the bike tour, if you sign up for the bike tour before December 20th, 2017, you'll get the 2017 price for the tour plus 5% off for the total cost of the trip. So yeah, and this bike tour, like the Portugal bike tour, includes a local professional guide. So you'll have a Swiss local to talk to you in English, of course, but also in German. What else? Yeah, premium lodging every night. So we'll be staying in nice 3- and 4-star hotels every single night. You get a touring bicycle. The company supplies you with a bicycle to ride for the duration of the tour. So once again, you don't have to fly your own bicycle to Switzerland. You just show up in Geneva at the start of the bike tour and everything will be taken care of for you. They will fit you on the bike at the beginning of the trip to make sure that everything fits you perfectly, and that you know how to work the bike and that sort of a thing. There is a support vehicle that will carry your luggage as well from hotel to hotel every day. And also the support vehicles there as well. Like if you wake up in the morning and you aren't feeling well and you don't want to ride or something, like they will take you in the morning to the next hotel, so you don't have to ride that day. The Bike Switzerland tour, unlike the Portugal tour, the food is included. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the most part. I think there's one lunch and one dinner that's not included. But otherwise, everything is basically covered. There's, and by the way, like because I've done the bike tour with Bike Switzerland before, the food is freaking amazing. Like it is so good, and it's probably one of the things I'm looking forward to most. But anyways, they also do like these special cocktail nights where they have wine and things like that. They give you a GPS that has all of the maps in the GPS pre-programmed for you, so that like if for some reason you want to ride separately from the rest of the group or you get lost or something, you have all that information just right there in the palm of your hand. There's also 1 day off on this bike tour, which is nice, where you take a break from the bicycle and you have the option of like hanging out at the hotel, but there's also like a hike that they recommend. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So, and then finally, they include at the end of the bike tour, you're like all the way across on the other side of Switzerland. So Bike Switzerland includes your train travel from the end of the bike tour all the way back to back to Geneva, where you started. So yeah, it's a really amazing bicycle touring experience. Like I said, I've done a bike tour at Bike Switzerland before, and it was like mind-blowing how good it was. So yeah, those are the 2 bike tours that I'm doing this year. And like I said, all of the information for these 2 bike trips can be found on the Bicycle Touring Pro website. Just go to bicycletouringpro.com, click on the Bike Tours tab up at the top of the page, and you'll find all of the details, dates, what's included, daily itinerary, information on the 2 discounts that I've obtained for you guys, as well as pricing details and information on how to sign up for the tours. So if you're interested in any of these 2 bike tours and you want to join me and some other Bicycle Touring Pro readers on the trip, you can contact me directly through the contact button on bicycletouringpro.com. My email address is contact@bicycletouringpro.com. And finally, you can contact these 2 tour companies directly and just tell them that you want to participate in the bike tour with the Bicycle Touring Pro. That's about it. If you guys, I'm looking at your comments now. So does anybody have any questions about the 2 bike tours that I'm doing this year? 2018, summer of 2018. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah. Okay. Ba-ba-bam. Some people saying it's too expensive. Yeah, well, one, Switzerland is expensive. I don't know if you've ever been there, but yeah, it's kind of like one of the most expensive countries in the whole world. So it is a relatively expensive trip, but I think, like I said, it's kind of worth it. Just when you look back at the experience at the end, it's pretty amazing. And the fact that it includes the bike, transportation, food, guide, you know, lodging, all that kind of stuff. If you total it up and did the trip on your own, it would be somewhere close to that price as well. So, yeah. Yeah, Freedom Cycle said, we did the Way of St. James for €2 a day. I doubt that, but yeah, it is possible to do both of these bike tours on your own. However, you're going to be sleeping in a tent, maybe, you know, eating supermarket food, and that's not what these bike tours are. So these are for people who want to have a warm shower every day. These are for people who want to sleep in a warm bed. These are for people who want to eat good food, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Okay. Lots of comments about the price. Well, price is relative, people. What is expensive to you is probably cheap to someone else. Yeah, Eric says, how much is the trip if I don't need a bike and I carry my own luggage? I don't know. You'll have to contact the tour company directly. I'm sure that they might give you a small discount for that, but I really don't know. Yeah, if you have some of your own gear, I'm not sure. Kim says, my wife wants an e-bike. Is that possible? I think it is for both companies. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty darn sure that both companies would be able to get you an e-bike, no problem. Here's the link again to where you can get information on these 2 bike tours. Someone said the link doesn't work, but I'm pretty sure it works because I'm on the page right now. Steven says, Switzerland is so mountainous. Will I manage those climbs? Well, Steve, the bike tour that I'm doing is called the Bike Switzerland Light Tour, and it's an easy bike trip. So it's flat, and yeah, pretty much anybody can do it. Hey, a Jolly Hiker just said, have a Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Switzerland is so mountainous, yeah. But yeah, this trip is not. Sophie Bell says, I would love to join this tour. Sounds fantastic. Which tour do you want to join, Sophie? The Portugal one or the Switzerland one? Randy says, I appreciate your plans. Are you planning a trip without a tour company with your readers? Randy, I might be doing that, but I'm not going to announce anything until next year. So if you want to do like more of a camping sort of trip, I might be doing something like that in Sweden or Romania later this year, just as a teaser for you guys. But those trips will be cheaper, and I will be leading them myself. But yeah, these 2 trips that I'm announcing today are Portugal and Switzerland. Those are kind of for people who want an easy bike tour, a group bike tour. They want hotels. They want a guide. They want warm showers every night, that sort of a thing. So, yeah. Some people are saying the link doesn't work. I don't know why the link doesn't work. I'm not sure. It's working for me. Right? Maybe, I don't know. Try that link. Maybe that'll work. I think that, weird. Yeah, it does say That's weird. When I link to it myself, it doesn't work. But when I click on the tab for bike tours, it works just fine. Why is that happening? Anyways, I don't know why the link isn't working, guys, but when you go to bicycletouringpro.com and click on bike tours, it works just fine. That's very strange. Here's the link again. Let's try it. Nope, it does not work. Go to the page, Stephen, go to that page and just click on the bike tours tab that you see at the top, and the information will be right there. I don't know why the link isn't working. Justin says, doing my own tour to see family in Michigan from North Dakota. Easy ride down Highway 2. Will be epic. Awesome. Yeah. Be sure to send me a picture. Cool. Okay, guys. Well, that's it. I just wanted to make a quick announcement about my 2018 bike tour travel plans. If you're interested in joining me on one of those 2 bike tours, send me a message. My email address is contact@bicycletouringpro.com. All of the details are up now on the Bicycle Touring Pro website. Just go to bicycletouringpro.com and then click on the tab for bike tours. I don't know why the link isn't working at the moment, but it's working. So yeah, check it out when you can, I guess. And yeah. And once again, if you're interested in getting the bicycle touring blueprint for yourself or a loved one, order it today. Go to biketourbook.com, enter the coupon code December, and you'll get the book for $5 off. Plus, I'll sign it for you and write a personal message inside just for you. Just on a totally unrelated note, the power is out here in Southern California, and everybody is like going crazy. What's funny is I just spent the last month or 2.5 months living in my van and riding my bicycle across the American Southwest. So my van is set up with solar panels up on the top of the roof. So I have basically been living off of the grid for the last 2.5 months. And while everyone is going crazy, oh no, I don't have power, I don't have lights, I have everything I need in my van. I'm very used to kind of going for days, weeks, and even months without plugging my phone, for example, into an electrical outlet. So that's one of the skills that I've picked up from bicycle touring and from van life, is this ability to continue on even without regular power. Anyways, just a little funny side note that I was kind of thinking about today. Steven says, does RAGBRAI count as a tour? Yes, it does. That's considered a bike tour because it's a multi-day event. Well, there are also like single-day bike rides that many people count as bicycle tours, largely because they're organized by a big touring company and there's like hundreds of people that come out and do that sort of a thing. They'll call it a bike tour, even though it's like technically not, because it's just like a one-day bike ride or whatever. Usually a bike tour is something that is multi-day, so 2 days, 1 night at the very least, and anything longer than that is also a bike tour as well. Bike Touring Fan says, any plan to visit Kaliningrad, Russia next year? And no, I don't really have plans to go to Russia next year. I want to, as many of you know, I've been trying to bike across every country in Europe, and I've only got 3 countries left: Belarus, Russia, and Cyprus. Maybe I'll hit one of them this year. That would be really good, but I don't know. No immediate plans yet. Gustav Skile says, what do you think about a bike tour around Europe? Sounds great. Do it. Yeah. Where do you want to go? Which part of Europe? All of Europe? Because I've been biking across Europe for years and I still haven't seen it all. Loris2211 says, what do you think of fat bikes? Fat bikes are great. I wouldn't necessarily use one on a long distance bike tour, but it depends on what you're doing, right? A fat bike is meant for snow cycling or like off-road dirt cycling in the sand, that sort of a thing. So yeah, I just got myself a new bicycle. It's from a company called Chumba USA, and it's the Ursa 29 Plus mountain bike. It's a bike packing bicycle, and the tires are really thick. They're like 3 inches thick, almost like a fat bike. So yeah, I really like the bike for off-road riding, but I wouldn't want to ride that bike on a paved road over a long distance, for example. So yeah, the bike the bike you use depends very much on the bike tour that you are planning. Okay, guys, my battery is just about dead here on my computer, so I'm gonna have to go pretty soon. What is your nearest plans for the USA, says Vlad. My plans for cycling in the USA, I'm back in California for the holidays at the moment, and I'll be here probably for the month. In the springtime, I might be doing some bike tours up in Oregon, California, and possibly Arizona, but I'm not exactly sure. And I'll be doing another bike tour probably in Colorado in around September, after these bike tours in Europe. So yeah, that's kind of my plans. As I get my plans more detailed out, I'll continue to reveal all that with you guys. But Jim Vincent says, heading out to the Southern Tier, coming out of San Diego for about 3 weeks in the middle of February. That's awesome, Jim. That's kind of the route that I just recently completed. And I'm not sure what it's like in January, but make sure you're prepared for cool weather at nighttime. Daytime weather should be good in February, but at night, I think it might get pretty darn cold. Steven says, have you wild camp in Switzerland? Yes, I have. I've biked across Switzerland 2 or 3 times before, 2 times before. So yeah, I love Switzerland. Okay, guys, I gotta go because my battery is about to die and the signal keeps cutting out. So thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, if you want to get a copy of my book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint, for yourself or a loved one, maybe for the holidays, it makes a good gift. Go to biketourbook.com, pick up a copy, enter the coupon code December. You'll get $5 off, and I'll send you a signed copy of the book along with a little message inside just for you. Also, if you are interested in learning more about the 2 bike tours, the 2 guided group bike tours that I'm doing in Europe this summer, that you can join me on, go to bicycletouringpro.com, click on the tab at the top that says Bike Tours, and you'll see all the details for those 2 bike tours in Europe. That's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great day. And in 2018, 2018 is coming up quick. I hope you have a bike tour of some kind planned for your future. Thanks so much, everybody. Adios, auf Wiedersehen, do widzenia, and goodbye.